Still missing a lot of requests in between 47 and 56. This due date is at the end of December. So I assume that means we have to have at least two more whatchamacallits? 2 more full moons, so we got some time. 60 is missing, but that might show up as we do more requests. Alright, so this, the 12th. We might get to the 12th today. That's a week from today. Alright, but we don't need to take any of these right now. I'm gonna go hang out with Mutatsu. Goodbye. Bum, 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 bum. Open up. Oh, it's you. Mutatsu seems to be drinking by himself. I got Elgar. Alright, let's do this, bro. What a strange kid. You feel your friendship is growing stronger. Alright, he's ready to max out. Nice. You should be available all throughout the weekend, so... Unless Koromaru wants to go on walks Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh! Yeah, it didn't. You didn't pray hard enough, because it ended up in Ikutsuki's hands.
That video?
My employer has become obsessed with a loathsome idea. This experiment should have never even been conceived. That's why I had to interrupt it. However, in doing so, I set free a number of shadows that are certain to torment future generations. But if I hadn't, the entire world may have paid the price. Please, listen carefully. I cannot stress this enough. You must not hunt the shadows that have dispersed.
That's the exact opposite of what we were told.
Huh? This part's...
I wasn't able to stop this madness. He won't listen no matter what I say. He's under the devil's spell. Now the shadows are trying to eat one another. But if they're reunited, then we are all doomed. I'll say this once more. Leave the shadows be.
This is the original video, before Ikutsuki changed it. Dad tried to stop the experiment.
There's not much hope for me now. I have just one favor to ask. Whoever finds this, please, give my daughter Yukari this message. I know I promised I'd be home soon, and I'm sorry to break that promise. But I want you to know, Daddy was the happiest man on Earth when he was with you. I love you, Yukari. Please, take care of yourself.
Dad? Dad?
Oh, is that in the video? Oh, thank goodness. I thought that was happening in the dorm, and I was like, yo, you gotta drop that laptop and run, girl.
Daddy?
He's already dead.
I know one thing for sure now. I was right to believe in him. Are you listening, Dad? I'm doing okay. It took a while, but I finally got your message.
Oh, this is probably when you get your tier 2. Yeah, there it is. Your persona is one of the better ones, actually, so I wonder what this is going to look like. Oh, okay. It's not too bad. Isis. I think the other one might have been better, but this looks neat.
I'll fight for what I believe in. That's what you would have wanted. Right, Dad?
I'm tired. I don't seem to be feeling well. I'm gonna go to bed. Oh, is Pharos gonna show up? I assume he's like the Prince of Death or whatever. Velvet Room? Oh yeah. What's up, Igor?
Welcome. As I'm sure you are aware, you are currently in a dream.
That can't be right. I don't see Mitsuru around here anywhere, and she's all I dream about.
Now then, there has been a change in you recently. Have you noticed? And I am not referring to your change in circumstances. I am referring to the change in your mentality. That is why I have summoned you here tonight. Going forward, there is one thing you mustn't forget.
It's the contract I signed. I totally forgot about that.
I see you recognize it. Shall I remind you of your commitment? I chooseth this fate of mine own free will. There is no need to worry. Whichever path you choose, I shall respect your decision. However, only you will bear the responsibility for your actions, no matter what end they may bring about. Please, remember that. Well then, I bid you farewell.
Alright, that was weird. I don't really understand what all that was about, but okay. Oh, I'm no longer tired. How nice.
Yo, Chidori.
Junpei's still trying to get laid, I see.
Sorry about not being able to come lately. A lot's been going on. Hey, what's wrong? So you heard about Takai and Jin, huh? I was planning on telling you. They were your friends, after all. What? That's not it?
I'm scared. It hurts. Junpei, what will you be doing in 2 years?
2 years? I don't know. I really haven't thought about it. Why do you ask? Hey, I noticed you stopped, you know, hurting yourself.
Oh, I guess.
That's good. I mean, you have such beautiful hands.
Don't touch me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
This is too painful. It used to be fun when you came to visit. But it's different now.
Huh?
It hurts inside. I can't breathe. I can't take this anymore.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? Tell me what it is.
Junpei. Don't come here anymore.
But, Chidori...
All that simping for nothing. Which is how it normally goes. Love changing seasons. Alright. Akihiko said that... Is Puka available? Yes. Akihiko said that Mitsuru wouldn't be back for about a week. I like them having story-based Persona evolutions a lot. It's good. I prefer doing it by maxing out a social link, personally. But the story-based evolutions are still neat. What do I want to do? Do we just want to, like, hang out with What's-Her-Face? just want to listen to his music for a bit. Both ways are good, but I definitely prefer it when it's based on the social link instead of from the story. Problem with social link evolutions is that means the development can't happen in the main story or affect it. Well, I mean, you can still have the character affect the storyline and all, like, and just not get a persona evolution out of it. It's not like that means the character doesn't have any impact on the story. Like, the characters in 5 and 4 all still have big impacts on the story and whatnot, but without getting a persona to evolve as a result. And I mean, like, does the persona evolving really have any effect on the story at all? The persona evolving is an after effect of what happened in the story with them. It doesn't really have anything to do with them actually affecting the story or anything. You don't have to tie the persona evolution into that. It's neat, yeah, but I'd still rather it be based on social link. How do you feel about the twist? About what? About Akutsuki being evil? I mean, you know. I said Akutsuki was evil the second I saw him, and then he became irrelevant, and I forgot about him constantly, and then he decided to be evil again at the very end. Persona really isn't that good at doing twists. The Persona 4 killer twist, didn't think it was very good. Akechi being the traitor wasn't very good because it was obvious. Akutsuki being evil, I mean, like, you know. Doesn't mean the character's main arcs are involved and resolved based on story events. Yeah, I'd rather it be social links. I'd rather it be based on the social link than in the main story, personally. Not that it being based on the main story is bad, but I just prefer social links. That's like that's Persona's big thing, is like social links and confidants. It's one of its most important, like, factors to it. I like the social links having that really big payoff at the end of them and, like, being really involved, that, like, you went through 10 ranks of, like, growing and becoming closer to the character, and it results in, like, at the end of it all of those 10 ranks led up to the point where it's like, yeah, the persona evolved because you went through all of those hardships that were very specific to that one character instead of specific to the overarching story itself. I prefer it that way. I don't know if Akutsuki is, like, dead and gone, or if he's gonna show back up and be like, as I fell off, the prince caught me and I merged with him to become almighty or whatever. But assuming that Akutsuki is just, like, dead, then, you know, it wasn't bad, but I don't really care. I didn't care about it. It all comes back to my biggest complaint about Persona 3 is that stuff like big story things happen and I just don't feel invested enough. It's the same thing with Shinjiro. I really like Shinjiro, but, like, when he died, I was like, dude, really? That's it? Shinjiro's done? I feel like I could have gotten so much more cool stuff out of Shinjiro. Because, like, specifically in Persona 5 The Royal, because it was a bit of a problem I had with Akechi in Persona 5 as well, in normal Persona 5, which is why, I've said this before, but, like, Akechi is my favorite character in Persona after The Royal, but pre-Royal, Akechi was only, like, in my top 10 of Persona 5 characters. He would have been, like, I don't know, 5th or 6th place, somewhere around there. But after The Royal, they really did a really good job with Akechi having a social link and all, of making you really care about Akechi and, like, getting interested in him and stuff and whatnot. And then when he turned evil and then when he died, it was, like, a really big deal. For me. Personally, at least. Because I really liked Akechi and I'd grown close to him over the time. With Shinjiro, that never really happened. And then with Akutsuki, I couldn't care less. Like, I didn't care. I actively hated Akutsuki because he did puns. But puns aside, I just, like, you know, whatever. But yeah, Persona 3 is still really fun. I'm still really enjoying it. I think I like it more than 4. But as I said, we have to get to the end. One thing I'll definitely give Persona 3 above the others, and I've heard many people say that Persona 3 is their best because of the story. The story itself, putting aside, like, the actual character, like, introductions and interactions and all, the actual story, the storyline of this one is far more streamlined and, like, better put together as one continuous story than the other Personas. Because in Persona 4, it's more about, like, going through, you know, it's more about the characters themselves and the interactions between the characters in Persona 4. And then in Persona 5, every, like, deadline, every palace is almost kind of like its own miniature, like, storyline arc that's focused more around, like, Kamoshida's arc is way more focused around On and Ryuji and like a storyline with them, and then Madarame's is more with Yusuke, and then they link it all together at the end where it's like, oh, Kaneshiro and Madarame, they were working for Shido the entire time, and then like Shido's the one who came up with the fake, what are they called? What is Futaba's little group called that she made? I forgot the name of them. What is the name of that group? Alibaba is the name that she used. What was the name of the, Medjed, that's it. Medjed was like the Medjed that threatened them was like made up by Shido. So they linked it all together loosely, but the main, you know, and I still really love Persona 5's overall story. I really love the ideology of it and all. Persona 3 definitely better, where it's better than 4 and 5 as of right now, is that its main story kind of links together a lot better. More like the setting, I guess I should say. The setting of it being this experiment that went wrong that created Tartarus, and these 12 shadows got out, and you have to stop them all to get rid of Tartarus, but then actually it's like, oh, that didn't get rid of Tartarus. That made Tartarus worse somehow. But, you know, I'm not trying to, like, bash on Persona 4 or 5, because I think they both also have very good stories. Persona 5 especially in the Royal. I love the overall story and how it goes into Shido at the end, and Yaldabaoth shows up. Really big fan. But Persona 3 has a better, like, streamlined one. Persona 3 does feel a lot slower as a result, because the first few months of Persona 3 really just feels like basically nothing really major is happening, and I feel like that's where the main cast and the characters should have carried more of the weight of the story. Because now, once we got to the beach, and we saw the doctored up video by Akutsuki, that's where things started to get, like, really serious. Like, oh, we know what all is going on and everything's getting more serious and all of that. Persona 4 and 5, specifically Persona 5, because it's more like small stories contained that all link together at the end, felt like it pulled me in a lot better from the very get-go. But now that I'm at the end of Persona 3, I'm like, yo, the shadows are beat, but it's not good. Like, how is this going to resolve? What's going on? But still my main complaint about Persona 3, because as I've said numerous times through numerous games that I play, the most important thing to me is the characters and their interactions and etc., etc. I feel like Persona 3, that's kind of where it dropped the ball a little bit. Because, like, the only character they really got me interested in going into was Shinjiro, and then I feel like Shinjiro had a fairly lame conclusion, to be honest. Because I feel like Shinjiro, like, right when we were starting to get to the point where he could start to really do stuff and get interesting, and I do think a big part is that this, the main cast, other than the women, don't have social links. And also, a lot of the social links, even for the women, are really, like, barred off. You have to get, like, max... I don't know if you had to get max stats, but I think I at least had to get probably level somewhere 4 or 5 level on courage, because obviously I needed courage to hang out with Fuka, because it said I had the courage for it. And then I had to get max charm, I think, or at least really high charm to get with Yukari. And then I'm guessing Mitsuru, her social link probably has to do with her dad, so you can't get Mitsuru until November. So you needed level 5 charm for Yukari. Okay, so 1 away from max. 5 or 6. Really close to the end. So, like, I feel like that's the... girls all require max stats. That makes sense. So, yeah, I feel like the main problem with Persona 3, that Persona 4 and 5 do better, is the characters getting build-up and development and going together and whatnot. That's my only major complaint about Persona 3. Everything else about Persona 3, I'm really into. It's fun. It's a good game. But I definitely feel like the Persona 3 cast is the cast that I am least attached to. I'm way more attached with the characters from Persona 4 and Persona 5. Especially the ones that I like. You know, the ones that I'm a big fan of. It's like Yosuke and Kanji from Persona 4. Yukiko I really liked. Naoto was pretty cool. Basically, like, I'm more attached to, like, just Kanji. If you just take Kanji from Persona 4 alone, I'm more attached to just Kanji than I am the entire cast of Persona 3 for the main part. But, you know, the game is still really good. You know, I'm just, you know, making my points how I feel. That's the point of the playthrough. I always have to, anytime I say anything that isn't just gushing praise for a game, for some reason, a contingent of my viewers are just like, well, that's it, he hates the game. Nah, dude. I had complaints about Persona 5, too, and Persona 4, but I still love them. They're really good games. And if anyone says, well, you don't talk to them every single night at the dorm, everything, I do not care. oh no, you didn't build with them because you didn't have 2 to 3 sentences of dialogue with them at night where they say like, hey, yeah, I was playing a video game, dude. Nah, man, give them a social link or like have them actually build up in main important story stuff, not just like little conversations where it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually really into classical music. But, anyways, the point is I'm still really loving Persona 3, and I am really interested to see, like, for sure, depending on how the rest of it goes, I think Persona 3 probably, in terms of a full, cohesive, singular story, it seems like Persona 3 has Persona 4 and Persona 5 beat. I do really love the storyline in Persona 5, but my enjoyment of the Persona 5 storyline comes a lot more from the ideology of it all. And I've talked about this before when I've talked about Persona 5, and specifically when I've ever talked about Naruto to anyone. One of the reasons Naruto is my favorite anime is because Naruto has a really, really big theme in ideological differences and having to convince the other person whose ideology is better, normally through combat and through words. So, Persona 5 really hits that for me with Yaldabaoth and stuff like that, so I really enjoy it. But, yeah. Anyways, Persona 3 is still really good. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the story goes. Akutsuki? It wasn't bad, but I don't really care. It basically comes down to the same with the twist in 4 and 5. I think the twist was done poorly. That's just what they do.